recording now. Okay, so you have this service package now that you have to be particular about, and then you have this portion which is your criteria for evaluating your service package. So for supporting facility, you can actually look at all of these dimensions, the interior decoration, the equipment that you have in your facility, the location, the interior design, and the architectural appropriateness, and the layout. So these are the things that you can check or you can evaluate for your supporting facility. And again, the focus should always be customer centered. Kaya later on, I will be discussing with you yung strategy or the strategic vision when you begin a service business. So it has to start with your target market. Kasi once you know who your target market is, di ba, it follows na yung architectural appropriateness ng supporting facility mo should support your target market. Okay? If your target market are more on the age group of 50s to 60s, there's a certain design or architectural appropriateness for that particular group as compared to your age group, di ba? If you are the target market, you may not fully appreciate yung ganitong klaseng architecture. Okay? If you have seen the landscape and the structures in Europe, in most countries in Europe, as a young adult before, when I saw the pictures, before actually being able to go there, I wasn't interested at all. No? Kasi I really didn't like to see museums. I didn't like to see mga old structures, mga historic structures na left over from ruins of war, etc. I was not so interested in those things. Okay? Kasi at that time, hindi siya appropriate sa age ko eh. Pero as I grow older, and as I was able to see some of the places there, the appreciation begins. So therefore, sometimes the demographics of your, which I talked about last meeting, the demographics of your target market has a lot to do with the elements in your service package. How you're going to design your location, your facility, where you're going to put your facility, yung accessibility. Maglalagay ba kayo ng mga ramps for disabled people, for elderly people, okay? And the equipment that you have, are they supportive of your target market? All of these things uh, will begin with your knowledge of who your target market is. Kaya when you evaluate the service package, you should have that in mind, your target market, and what is the goal of the idea that you have actually ventured into. Okay, what do you want to achieve? So those are the things that you look into, inputs yan, for you to evaluate the service package. So this page is simply a listing of every possible thing that you can look at. Okay, you don't have to look at everything, but if you have the opportunity to assess or to evaluate consistency, quantity, selection of your facilitating goods, then do so. Okay? Ganun din for explicit services, implicit services, and of course, information, you will be able to evaluate it in terms of accuracy, completeness, etc. Okay? So the point lang of this page is that once you have set up your service package, once you have envisioned what your service package will be, you need to have a checklist, a criteria to check it, to make sure that before you actually rent the location space for your service business, make sure na naka-align na siya doon sa needs or requirements ng target market mo. Kasi once you start renting and paying, and then doon mo palang i-evaluate, too late na, di ba? If naisip mo na, oh, my target market will not like this. It's either it's too late already or you have to spend extra money to renovate or to redesign your facility. Okay? So again, so all of these things I will connect them later on, but just keep in mind that once you have strategized or you formulated your service package conceptually in your mind, you need to have a checklist as to whether it will meet your target market requirements or not. Okay, so we go to the distinctive characteristics of service operations, which is very important for this course. No? How do we differentiate it from manufacturing? Number one, customer participation. What do you think about customer participation, Michelle? You have engaged yourself in services as a customer, or perhaps if you are part of IMES or any other organization, you have also engaged yourself as a service provider. Diba? So in services, one of the things that differentiate it from manufacturing is that there is customer participation. In production kasi, in the factory, you will seldom see customers in there. Perhaps you can see some suppliers checking your facility or some customers checking your facility, but it is never really to provide inputs for the production process. They're just there to check, to audit. Okay, so this is one of the major difference. So what do you think are some advantages having been a customer and having been a service provider, Michelle?
Sir, for me po as a customer, parang we get to share our concerns or like we give our feedback to the service provider whether their products are actually okay yung mga features so they can be able to improve it in the future.
Okay, and then during the interaction phase, while you're transacting, while the service is taking place, is there any advantage from the customer's perspective that you're able to participate, that you're able to give feedback?
Sir, yes po. Parang meron naman siyang benefit for a customer since you're able to give your insights to the service provider, you will be able to like parang you get the value of the service. Parang mas na-appreciate po yung service provider since they get to hear our insights as well.
So you're saying that there's a better chance that whatever your expectations or needs are, mas mamimit yon right then and there. Right then and there, diba? Unlike in manufacturing a product, when somebody manufactures and you buy the product from the store, wala ka nang say doon sa design ng clothes, diba? Sometimes you're looking for a specific design na gagamitin mo sa isang event, no? Sa isang occasion. Tapos, yung pinuntahan mong store, wala nung design na gusto mo. So, you end up choosing the one that's closest to what you want, pero not entirely satisfying what you need. Primarily because during the manufacture of those designs or during R&D or the conceptualization of those designs, the customer was not actually present during those stages of manufacturing. They weren't able to tell, oh, these are the designs that would suit us and would please us for specific occasions, diba? So, kaya for products, no, you always end up buying the product that is closest to what you want or closest to your budget availability. Diba? So yun yung nakukuha mo. Whereas for services, the fact that you're able to give your inputs means that if the service provider is responsive, it means that you have a better chance of getting exactly what you need because you're able to participate in that process. So from a service provider perspective naman, kanina kasi Michelle said na, yeah, the customer participation in that process, no, of delivering the service is important for the customer to get what he expects or what he needs. From the service provider perspective, what do you think is the advantage or the disadvantage? Uh, Christian,
Don't get
have you been
the
a service provider, Christian?
yes.
Okay. In what capacity? Or
I'm a seller po.
you're a seller in Shopee. Seller ka sa Shopee.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Okay, so let's share our experiences. From a service provider perspective, what is the advantage of customer participation? Shopee kasi is an online platform, di ba? Unlike a retail store where there's really that face-to-face interaction, there could be some difference. Pero based on your Shopee experience, what could be an advantage or a disadvantage of customer participation in that process?
Sir, personally, an advantage would be if the customer asks for more photos. So they get like what they know what to expect of the product.
Do they
And
directly message you?
yes po.
Okay, and then, so from the customer's perspective, uh, they are able to assure themselves that they're buying the right product. Diba? Kasi if they ask for more photos, they're able to scrutinize and they're able to assure themselves. And from your perspective as a seller, does it also give you that assurance or that guarantee that since they ask for pictures and if they placed an order, dapat di na sila magreklamo, di ba?
Yes, it's more of like I expect na they already know what they're expecting. Because if I don't send pictures, tapos the product doesn't meet their expectations, it's like I feel like I'll get parang question, parang there's more possibility of me getting a bad review kesa naman at least I showed it and like they see what they expect. So there's a
Okay.
chance that I'll get a better review.
So that's an advantage for you, tama? Less complaints, better review, and if ever they complain, you can tell them that you showed them the picture, and the picture is as the same as the product that they received, and they agree to it, they place the order. So you have yourself covered, diba? Because of that interaction. Okay, so that's good, no? That's one advantage. Would there be a disadvantage in a way of
Pos-
customer participation?
in the example I gave, like them asking for pictures.
Or any other transactions that you had in the past? The fact that the customers are able to message you directly, talk to you, tell them their needs, tell you their needs. Do you see any disadvantage in that process?
No, sir, because at least I know as a seller, I'm giving like every time they interact with me or the product or like when the interface on Shopee, at least I know that the service I provide is something that will parang at least meet their needs and meet the expectations. Ganon.
Okay, but what if your what if you have your business now, let's say it's not you who's interacting with the customers. Let's say you have people under you, employees I should say. Let's say no, you have kunwari lang, and then they're the ones directly interacting with the customers. um, do you have total control over the responses of your employees when they interact with, let's say you have 3 employees, diba? Give them the same situation. Do you think they would interact in the same way?
If I was able to train them well, like give them proper, like they know the product, they know how to, they know what to show, and then they know how to somewhat market it and know the parang type of customer, like what the customer is looking for, then I think it will be fine. But then there are times that if the employee doesn't parang understand, there might be like a form of confusion, and there's a chance that uh, the customer will be left unsatisfied.
Correct, right? And it happens instantaneously, correct? The dissatisfaction happens instantaneously the minute or during and after the conversation. And as an owner, because of this direct interaction and customer participation in that process, sometimes it's very difficult to control yung quality of the response and quality of the interaction that is provided. In fact, there are several aspects to the quality kasi number one aspect is the knowledge. Tama ba yung sinasagot niya? Diba? Number two is yung authority niya to decide over certain things. Like let's say, the customer is asking, can I replace this? Nabili na niya. Can I replace this with a different color? Kasi nagkamali pala ako, or the size doesn't fit, can I replace this, etc. One employee can answer, ma'am, sorry, this is free size eh. Talagang yun lang yung size. Or another employee can say, we have a no return policy. Another employee can actually react in such a way na tatanungin ka muna niya, no? Can't decide, can't give a decision. Then tatanungin ka muna niya kung pwede ba o hindi, and it takes so long bago kanya maano. So iba-ibang reaction, iba-ibang interaction, which may cause dissatisfaction to the customer right then and there, because it's a live actual interaction, diba? Such that if you don't respond quickly, because of this participation of the customer, madi-dissatisfy sila agad. It's difficult to control it, to control the quality. Whereas in production, no, just to contrast it, before the customer can actually launch a complaint against the manufacturer of the pair of shoes or the dress that she bought, dadaan siya sa maraming channels, di ba? Bago siya makarating doon sa manufacturer abroad. Correct? So, ibig sabihin, yung manufacturer itself, because they are not interacting directly with the retail consumers, okay, hindi sila troubled by these things, no? And they have a better chance actually of preparing their staff and the call centers for responding. So, yun lang, no? Parang we look at it as in service management, the response time for us is very crucial. Kasi once the moment of truth, when I say moment of truth, it's the encounter with the customer. Once the moment of truth is already there in front of you, there's really no turning back. It's either you give the correct response or no response at all. Diba? Kasi any other response may dissatisfy your customer. So that's one of the disadvantages I see. Now we don't have direct control over the quality of the interaction. So everything will now rest on the training. Pero if I parang ganito lang, no? If I train 19 of you in this class on service management, the absorption, the reception of the training, kahit na pare-pareho ang sinasabi ko sa inyong lahat, there are some people who would interpret it and absorb it differently as compared to other people. And the application later on, when you land a job, will also be different. The way you think, yung critical thinking skills ninyo will also be different. So that's inherent kasi in each one of you, di ba? So because we're making use of people to interact with customers, then the heterogeneity, which I'll discuss later on, the heterogeneity of every individual, yung pagkakaiba-iba nila, would manifest itself in the interaction. Okay, so that's one of the things, no, that we have to be specifically careful about. Okay, so if you read through, no, basically you're saying that customers are involved, and then you're saying that in manufacturing, because customers do not see the facility, the process of producing the product. Usually you go to factories, lalo na yung mga traditional Chinese factories, no, very dark, tapos maraming exhaust fan sa ceiling, high ceiling. If you have been to one factory, no, traditional factory, you will see that it's dark, very hot. Tapos hindi well taken care of, maitim yung sahig, medyo makalat, madumi. Kasi nga, you can afford to do that because the customers do not see your facility. Diba? Pero for services, one of the things that you have to pay attention to is your service facility. Kasi kunyari salon ka, hindi pwede ang dungis-dungis ng salon mo. Diba? You get what I mean? Hindi pwedeng madumi yung surroundings kasi the customers are going to stay there and have their manicure, pedicure, or hairstyle, etc. Diba? You have to make sure that pleasing and appealing yung structure mo at saka yung facility mo, including your layout, sa mga customers mo. That's why kanina I said, it's one of the things that you look into, is it aligned to what your customers' requirements are. Quality of service is enhanced, etc. Okay. And then, that is why some of the facilities innovate. No? They try to copy yung mga restaurants. They try to have glass windows separating the dining area and their kitchen area, so that the customers are able to see what's going on in the kitchen. Diba? Ganon din sa mga auto dealerships, yung mga car dealerships. Used to be before, when you have your car repaired, you would go to a showroom where there are cars and air conditioning and comfortable seats with TV, with the free coffee, etc. No, if you've been to a car showroom, everything is so nice, no? Because the customers interact with the service technicians in the showroom, and they look at the cars in the showroom. Pero at the back office, at the back end, you will see the repair shop. Okay? Used to be dati yung repair shop, hindi ganun ka-appealing, hindi ganun kaganda, hindi ganun kalinis. Pero modern times, you will see that those work base, repair base that they have are also very nice to look at and accessible na sa mga customers ngayon through a glass window. So the customers are now able to see what's going on with their cars while they wait. Okay? And therefore, those are some of the innovations to gain the trust of customers, no, as they increase the level of participation in the interaction. Ngayon kasi, customers can actually go to the workday and talk to the repair crew about the maintenance of their cars. Unlike before, no, you just wait for your car to be finished and then they call you and then you pick up your car. Now, everything is different. No? You can actually go to the repair bay and talk and discuss the problems of your car with the technician. Okay? So, some advantages of customer participation. Siyempre, if customers participating, we can actually take advantage of them as service providers. No, we can let them do some of the jobs, okay, that we are supposed to do. The very popular doon yung Claygo, di ba? Instead na waiter mo ang naglilinis ng table sa restaurant, you tell the customer, just put a sign there, which is very popular and known, yung Claygo, clean as you go, di ba? And in many, actually late na tayo sa pag-adapt niyan in many countries. If you go to fast food, kahit na decades ago, if you go to fast food, tayong mga Filipinos, hindi tayo sanay na after we eat, no, we throw whatever trash we have sa trash can and then return the tray. So if we do that abroad, they will actually look at us. Diba? Ano ba itong mga to? Ba't hindi marunong maglikpit ng table? Kasi expected sa kanila yun, na after you eat, you have to clean your table clear your table of all trash and then throw them and then return the tray. Okay, so that's already a standard practice. So now instead of you see the effect of this, di ba? Kasi kung waiter yan, as in our culture here, kung waiter yan, you would have to wait for the waiter. Kasi yung waiter, busy, no? Delivering orders left and right. Kapag wala siyang time and nobody attends to the table, what happens? No one will be able to occupy the table until it is clean. Have you been to a restaurant na pumila ka and then ang sinabi sa'yo nung usher, next na po kayo ma'am, nililinis lang yung table. Diba? We have to wait for customers to get out and for the waiters to be available to clean the table before the next customer can go in. So that's again, idle time, no, for the tables to be able to serve customers. Okay. Many other examples like gasoline stations for those who are driving their cars. In many countries, 2 decades or more ago, in the 90s, when I was living in the US at that time, gas stations, you go there, you drive your car, you have to do self-service, everything. Okay, you have to pump your own gasoline. You just go to your swipe your card, meron ng credit card swiper doon, machine. You swipe your card and then you go. Diba it saves a lot of time? Kasi like here, when you get to a gas station, you have to wait for the gasoline boy to be available to serve your car. Eh ang daming kotse, ang daming ang pumping station, pero walang gasoline boy to serve your car. And hindi naman natin practice dito to just get the pump and then just pump the gasoline on our own, diba? It's not our practice here. So just imagine if you allow the customers to just pump the gasoline on their own and do the payment processing on their own, diba you can have more transactions in a day as a service provider. It's more efficient. Diba? Kaya yung customer participation sa process is really very beneficial then to a certain extent to the service provider. Eh, kasi they can do a lot of the things that you are asking your gasoline boy and your waiter to do, and it will improve your efficiency and your daily output, your productivity. Okay? At using the customer's fund. Diba? At masaya din it's a win-win situation kasi for the customers, they don't have to wait that long. Okay, they have control over their transaction and then they just go. So it's a win-win situation for both customer and service provider. Okay? Any questions with customer participation? So this is an important feature that you have to keep in mind when you're designing your service. Okay. Next, simultaneity. Yan. Okay, ang hirap nito. Kasi ang sinasabi ng simultaneity is that production and consumption happens simultaneously for service interactions, for services. You imagine that? Sa product, you can produce a product, keep it in inventory, warehouse, and then pag may order, kukunin ni logistics yung inventory at ilo-load sa truck and i-deliver sa customer. So ang daming layers that will cushion or protect you from the actual consumption of the product or the actual sale of the product. Okay. Do you understand simultaneity? So it's about production and consumption. Now, what is the advantage of production and consumption not being simultaneous, like in manufacturing? Okay, so if it's not simultaneous, it means that you don't actually feel yung pressure of customer demand. The consumption kasi is represented by the demand, di ba? So when you have demand, that's when consumption will take place. That's when customers will actually get your product. So if hindi sila sabay, nauna mo na yung production, then you store it sa warehouse, ibig sabihin, the manufacturing facility, the production people are not burdened by demand. Wala silang burden. Ibig sabihin, walang pressure. Kahit na malaki yung demand, they will just do their daily schedule and then allow the inventory, the warehouse, to satisfy and deliver the orders to the respective customers. No pressure. But for services, since the demand and the consumption and the production of the service, that interaction happens simultaneously, parang sa ano, di ba? Parang sa fast food, for example. Hindi naman sila pwedeng mag-prepare ahead of time nung service na ibibigay nila sa customer. Di ba? Kailangan, nadyan sa harap ni customer, ni cashier, yung order taker, kailangan nasa harap niya yung customer bago niya maumpisahan yung quote-unquote production. Yung production ng service. Yung pagtatanong niya kung anong order, pagsasuggest niya na baka gusto niyo ito, at pagtatali niya ng bill, at pagsasabi niya ng bill sa customer, pagkuha niya ng bayad. Lahat ng yon, okay, yung service na yon, hindi niya pwedeng ipunin yon pag wala pa si customer. Gagawin niya lahat yon kapag ka nasa harap na si customer. So therefore, because of this simultaneity, kapag ka dumami yung customer sa harap mo, tapos nag-iisa ka lang, you feel the full impact of the demand on yourself. Yung pressure. Have you ever worked in a company or in a system, kahit na in an org, na nakikita mo dumadami na yung nagre-register? Kunyari may event ka, tapos may registration. Ikaw yung naka-assign sa registration desk. Mag-isa ka lang. Tapos nakikita mo, sabay-sabay dumarating yung mga magre-register for an event. Have you ever felt the pressure? Nako, I have to do this quickly kasi kung ang dami ng tao, baka sabihin sa akin nung AVP ko or VP ko na na ang bagal ko naman, di ba? The pressure is always there kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng i-advance yung registration ng mga tao hangga't wala pa sila doon. Di ba? So that's the thing, no? That's the disadvantage. So in manufacturing kasi, we call it a closed system, no, sa manufacturing. Kasi closed yan kasi naka-separate yung manufacturing at yung customer. Yung production, walang interaction So naka-separate siya by warehouse, by the inventory that you keep. So it's the inventory, the warehouse that gets the pressure. Kapag nawawala na ng stock si warehouse at tuloy-tuloy yung order ni sales, nagkaka-pressure si warehouse. Tapos nire-relay lang nila sa production para i-produce. Okay? So therefore it's a closed system cushioned by inventory. Whereas in services, it's an open system wherein the impact of demand variations is transmitted directly to the service provider. Okay? And your only recourse there, pag mag-isa ka lang, is to allow the customers who are registering for the event to wait. Maghihintay sila. But not all customers, natutunan nyo sa IEO per 3, di ba? Not all customers are patient. Okay? Some are impatient. So kung pwede lang sila mag-bulk, umalis, aalis sila. Pero since registration sa event yan, nagbayad sila, hindi sila aalis. Papagalitan ka nila. Diba? So they would hurl all kinds of insults or curse words at you, not knowing that the situation is not fully within your control. Kaya tayong mga customers, no, let this be a reminder. Oftentimes we vent our ire or anger sa, let's say, sa mga security guards, sa mga cashiers, okay? And the answers that we get is, yan po yung policy namin make sure that if you have some concerns, no, policy issues, process, IEs kayo sabihin nyo, bakit ganyan ang proseso nyo? Those people that you vent your ire on are not in a position to answer you. Okay? Magagalit ka lang lalo. So, the best thing is to ask for somebody who's in a position to decide or who's in a position to explain why the process is such. Diba? And who's in a position to say, okay, I can actually adjust the process to satisfy you. Para less stress on the part of you as a customer and you don't have to make a scene. Hindi ka pa magagalit. Diba? So, just remind yourself always that these people who are in the lower ranks are just doing their jobs. That's the level of their education. That's what their level of education permits them to do. Diba? Kaya kung ine-expect mo, yung mga expectations mo, level ng education mo, kung ine-expect mo yan sa kanila, hindi mangyayari yun. Okay? Hindi mangyayari yun. So how do we move forward? Hindi given that production and consumption is simultaneous, and given that there's customer participation, we move forward by, number one, hiring the right people for the right positions. Okay? Ang tingin kasi ng maraming service establishment is frontline lang yan. It's the lowest rank. Pero not true for services. Okay? Kasi for services, the frontliners are the ones interacting and they are the ones absorbing yung anger ng mga customers. Iba-ibang attitude, behavior ng mga customers. So dapat yung mga frontliners mo should have a certain level of education that would permit them to interact based on the requirements of your target market. Okay, that's number one. Okay, don't always think na dapat ito yung mga minimum wage earners. Hindi. They are the most important people in your establishment. Kasi the impressions that the customers will actually have in your service, good or bad, will depend on your frontliners. Kahit na ang ganda ng proseso mo, ang ganda ng produkto mo, ang ganda ng service mo, pero if the frontline interaction is so bad, okay, that ruins everything. Lahat ng planning mo that took place for 1-2 years and investment mo, pinag-ipunan mo, will just go down the drain because you did not invest the right amount of money for your frontliners. You get what I mean? So, very important sila kasi sila yung interaction, tsaka sila yung nagpo-produce, sila yung nag-absorb ng pressure. If you hire employees na walang EQ, okay, easily gets rattled kasi nga hindi enough or nagre-react, nakikipag-away kasi nga hindi enough yung training at yung background at yung education, then saan ka pupulutin, di ba? Saan pupulutin yung business mo? Word of mouth pa lang, talo ka na. Okay? So that's one important takeaway, no, that you can have because of this simultaneous production and consumption and the customer participation. That combination is very lethal in terms of building up or destroying your reputation as a service establishment. Any questions? Baka may question naman. Namamalat na ako eh. Any questions? Baka gusto niyo naman mag-share. We're free to share. I mean, I'm not so particular with time sa course na to. Any experience as a service provider, as a customer that you want to share? Okay, so kung may maisip kayo, just feel free to interrupt me later. Okay, next distinctive characteristic, perishability. Ako, hindi ito yung mga fruits and vegetables na kapag ka hindi mo kinain agad or hindi mo kinold storage ay magpe-perish, no? Hindi ito physical product. This is a perspective. Perspective that a service is actually a commodity. It's a perishable commodity. So you can think of a chair in a restaurant or a table in a restaurant as a commodity. Okay? It has a capacity to serve 4 people. There are 4 chairs in the table sa restaurant. So therefore, yung table with 4 chairs na yan, if you treat it as a product or a commodity or a service in itself, okay, 4 na tao yung pwede mong ma-serve through a waiter. Pero if for some reason that table with 4 chairs, okay, for this particular hour, walang customer na umupo dyan, then the ability of that table and chair to generate the service is already lost, is already gone. To generate service and revenue for the business is already gone. So if I were to simplify it, if for example yung table na yon, every hour, okay, pag may customer is expected to serve 2 sets of customer, half hour each. Okay? Half hour ang duration ng stay ng bawat customer. So therefore, for every hour na walang tao yan, walang nakaupo dyan, ibig sabihin, 2 customer ang nawala sa'yo for the day. And those 2 customers, you cannot recover them anymore. Diba? Yung capacity na nawala, hindi mo na ma-recover yon. Siguro, easier example, an aircraft. An aircraft may have 300 seats for sale. Okay? So nagbo-book kayo, no? Nagsasale sila, nag-book kayo. Pagdating na nung departure date, papunta sa Boracay, for example, or papunta sa Japan, pagdating ng departure date, ang total seats na na-book is 220 lang. So, when you board the plane, you will see that there are a lot of empty seats. Yung 80 seats na yon, ang intention ng 80 seats na yon sa bawat flight ng isang airline is to serve a customer. One seat, one customer. That's the intention. The capacity is there to serve a customer. So once that aircraft flies to its destination and that seat is unoccupied, it means that that service capacity as a commodity has already perished. Okay? Perished in the sense na wala na siyang silbi. Hindi mo na siya mababawi. It is lost forever when that seat capacity is not used for that particular flight. Wala na yan. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, bukas, lalagyan kita ng tao dyan. Pag lumipad yung eroplanong yan, may tao na yan. Kung may tao yan bukas at may flight ka, then that's for that particular flight. Yung revenue na yon is for that particular flight. But for the previous flight, you've lost the opportunity to earn the revenue. Yun yung perishability ng service. So, if somebody asks you, okay, anong distinctive characteristic ng services as compared to manufacturing? When you say perishable, ibig sabihin, you're talking about capacity. Ang capacity ng services, okay, is the actual service that you are providing. Kasi nga, simultaneous production and consumption. Yan yung service na binibigay mo. Pag hindi mo na-utilize yung capacity, tapos na. Now, compared natin sa manufacturing. Sa service kasi, pag walang demand, walang customer na nag-book ng airline seat na yon, perish na yung seat na yon. Pag lumipad yung aeroplano, wala na, di ba? Sa manufacturing, kahit walang bumibili, walang order for that capacity, question, can you utilize that capacity? Can you produce? Can you produce more ahead of time? Pwede, di ba? So, kunyari, ang order mo is for 100 pieces lang. Pero ang capacity mo ng production mo is 150, di ba? Or 120. You can utilize your capacity and produce 120. What happens is 100 will be sold, 20 will go to inventory. And knowing that the demand is variable, there would be some days na ang demand mo is 200. Ang capacity mo 120 lang. So you can actually utilize your capacity to produce in advance so that the remaining inventory may be used during periods where the demand exceeds your capacity. You get what I mean? So parang produce ka para may stock ka. Pero kapag dumating yung panahon na yung demand mo mas malaki sa capacity mo, ang capacity mo kaya mo lang mag 120, ang demand 200, meron kang inventory as your cushion. Kasi during days na mas malaki yung capacity mo, nagpo-produce ka eh. Diba? So you can now use the buffer inventory to serve your customer. At kung kulang pa rin, you can do overtime. You can extend your capacity. Sa services, you don't have that opportunity. So when you get employed in a service business or when you manage or own a service business later on, you have to be very particular with scheduling. Scheduling of your staff, scheduling of your available capacity. Kasi kailangan ma-match mo precisely with the demand. Again, babalik ako sa number 2. Consumption and demand, consumption and production happens simultaneously. So dapat ma-match mo yung pinoproduce mong capacity, yung meron kang capacity at ma-match mo yan sa demand na dumarating. Dapat ma-match mo 1:1 para ma-maximize mo yung capacity mo in services. So how do, kunyari, mga doctor's clinic, have you been to a family doctor? I guess parents nyo ang tumatawag sa secretary to reserve an appointment, to book an appointment, or you just walk in. Anyone? Doctor, dentist, ito, imposibleng wala kang dentist. Diba? baka nga walang nagsasmile eh. Wala akong nakikita ngipin. Ayan, may nakita na ang ngipin kay Michelle. Okay? At saka kay Julian, nakikita ko na yung ngipin niya, pero hindi live. Yan, may mga ngipin na ako nakikita. That's good. So lahat kayo siguro may dentist naman, di ba? O yung iba, hindi ko nakita ngipin kasi mata lang nakikita ko sa video. Ako ba? Nakikita niyo ba yung ngipin ko? Hindi ko alam kung nakikita niyo yung mukha ko. Pero anyway, may dentist kayo, di ba? So syempre, kapag magpapagawa kayo ng ngipin, kunyari cleaning lang, magsa-schedule kayo ng appointment. So this is how service facilities or service businesses try to match yung demand against their available capacity. Imagine nyo to, you operate a dental clinic. Dalawa lang yung upuan mo. Okay? Dalawa lang upuan mo, dalawa lang ang dentist mo. So, how many patients can you accommodate simultaneously at a time? Easy question to answer. There's no trick there. How many?
2.
Louder, please.
2, sir.
2, di ba? Kasi you only have 2 chairs. So that's each chair represents your capacity to serve. So now, the thing is, with services like dental clinics or even auto repair, no? Sa auto repair naman, yung mga auto shop na lagi niyong pinupuntahan, like this one that I frequently visit, only has 3 repair bays. Ibig sabihin, 3 lang yung repair slots niya. So kapag may 3 kotse na dyan, maghihintay ka na. Di ba? Maghihintay ka na. So, kaso, ang problema, minsan pag dumadaan ako doon, wala namang kotse. Wala namang nagpapagawa ng kotse sa kanila. So, yun yung dilema ng mga service establishments. Ang gusto nilang mangyari is that every time, meron silang ginagawa. Pero, dahil hindi nila makontrol yung pagdating ng customer, there are times may naghihintay, tapos yung mga naghihintay, aalis na lang. Tapos, there are a lot of times na wala namang kotse. Do you get the point? Wouldn't it be ideal sana na yung mga times na maraming naghihintay, nakapila, okay, sana sa ibang time slot na lang sila pumunta para yung mga times na idle yung shop, okay, merong ginagawa yung mga repairmen. Nakuha niyo yung picture? Parang sa dental clinic din, dalawa lang yung upuan. Kapag ka lahat gusto pumunta o na weekend, anong nangyayari? Sa weekend, pag tumawag sila, ay book na po kami. Ay, sasabihin nila, hindi kami pwede ng weekday kasi may klase yung mga bata. Tapos paglabas nila sa klase, sarado na kayo. Okay? Kami namang parents na magdadala sa kanila, may work kami. Pagtapos namin sa work, gabi na, sarado na kayo. So weekend lang kami talaga pwede. So ang nangyayari, lahat ng demand napupunta sa weekend. Kaso, ang kaya mo lang i-accommodate, 2 lang. Okay? So the revenue that you're generating is just 2 at a time. Okay? Depende na lang kung ilan yung kaya mong bunutan or pastahan or kaya linisan ng ngipin in a day. Yun na yung magdidictate ng revenue mo. Pero Monday to Friday, ang tawag nila, nilalangaw ka. Walang katao-tao. Diba? So how do you now solve this problem of perishability? So yung Monday to Friday na nagdaan na walang tao or walang nagpapa-repair, okay, ang mangyari doon, perish na yung capacity mo. It's gone forever. The opportunity to make revenue is lost. So what do you do? So let's go to the next. So again, underline nyo na lang dito, full utilization of service capacity becomes a management challenge. Ito yung challenge ng mga services. Paano i-utilize yung buong capacity? That challenge is not so prevalent in manufacturing as much as it is in services. So, consumer demand for services typically exhibits cyclical behavior and some even seasonal. Kasi yung iba gusto Saturdays lang eh. So definitely may peak demand, okay, na hindi mo ma-accommodate lahat, may aalis. Tapos meron kang mga valleys, no, or low demand na halos walang gumagamit ng service capacity. So 3 basic options of a service manager when faced with variable demand and perishability of your capacity. So number 1, ito yung pinaka-common. Okay? You smooth demand by using reservations or appointments. So gagawin mo is you hire a secretary. Okay? You tell your customers that by appointment ka, parang yung mga doctors, yung mga dentists, and now even yung mga repairs sa car shops, by appointment na lahat. Kasi nga, they're trying to solve this problem of full utilization of their capacity. So pagkatawag ka, hindi pwede, sasabihin sa'yo ng secretary, sir, available pa kami ng Monday from 9 to 10. Available pa kami ng Tuesday from 3 to 4. So ang goal ng appointment at reservation system is to fill every slot of your capacity. So every time slot, para kapag may naka-reserve sa bawat time slot, alam mo na hindi masasayang yung capacity mo. And the customers, benefit naman sa kanila noon is that alam nila na kapag dating nila doon, hindi na sila maghihintay kasi naka-appointment sila. Okay, so that's the one way. Another popular way is to use the schemes of airlines and hotels. Okay, price incentives or advertising to the market peak times. Okay, class, rainy season na ngayon, diba? Rainy season. Kung wala lang COVID, mabenta sana yung mga flights papunta sa mga tourist destinations natin noong March and April. March, April, and May. So, usually, every year yan, problema ng mga airlines is, ang number of flights nila sa isang araw papuntang Boracay, let's say 2 lang. Tapos, ang capacity ng seats nila, let's say, yung small plane, nasa 150 lang. Okay, so therefore, every day they can only transport 300 people to Boracay or to any other travel destination in the Philippines. 300 lang ang natatransport nila. Pero during these peak months, the demand can go up to 1,000. Yung mga nagbubook. So, ibig sabihin, they would have to refuse. Kasi pag nagbubook ka, makikita mo naman as a customer, no, if you have tried booking online, makikita mo naman as a customer na all seats taken. You will see that. So, now as a customer, you are now forced not to take that trip and perhaps to take another airline to go to a different destination. So from the perspective, let's say, of Cebu Pacific or Philippine Airlines, those customers who initially wanted to go to Boracay, pero full na yung flight nila from March to May, decided to just take a flight to Hong Kong, okay, and spend their summer there. So therefore, that's a lost transaction for the company. That's a lost transaction. So what these companies want is for them to be able to capture every transaction. Kasi important na makapture nila yan kasi pagdating ng June, July hanggang November, lean season, yung airplane nila na 150 ang capacity, 300 a day, halos 50 lang yung lumilipad to and from. Nasasayang na ngayon yung capacity nila, di ba? Capacity ng aircraft nila. Sayang yun kapag umaalis na hindi puno. So what they do is online, they would give price incentives. Makikita mo pagka peak ang round trip ticket papuntang Boracay, umaabot ng 8,000. Okay? Umaabot ng 8,000. Tapos makikita mo, sa November, may certain date sa November, 1,000 lang. 3 na kami. Okay? So, therefore, that would now entice your customer who originally wants to travel in March to consider November na lang. It's the same experience naman. Boracay pa rin naman yan. Mag-pray na lang tayo na hindi umulan or hindi bumagyo. Okay? For the same experience, 1,000 pesos, 3 tayo. Pero kapag peak, 24,000 tayong 3. Let's take the risk. It's worth taking that risk. So, ang ginagawa mo is by offering price incentives, you wish to change the behavior, the mindset of these people para mawala sila doon sa peak period at mag-transfer sila doon sa off-peak na walang customer. So, ang ginagawa mo is tinatry mong punuin yung off-peak by offering price incentives. Okay, another example is for those who love to eat dim sum. Okay, for those Chinese there, no, who love, even Filipinos who love to eat dim sum. Marami tayong mga dim sum restaurants dyan na kapag dating ng 2:30 to 5:30, okay, less 20% yung mga dim sum. Okay, so bakit? Kasi at during lunchtime kasi, hindi nila ma-accommodate sa restaurant nila lahat ng gustong kumain ng dim sum. So, ang ginagawa nila is, since hindi nila ma-accommodate, sayang yung customer eh. So, gagawin nila, magpo-promo sila. Okay, and the promo is, okay, 20 to 50% off dim sum prices, 2:30 to 5:30. Eh, alam naman natin, 2:30 to 5:30, snack time, wala namang, hindi napupuno yung restaurant pag snack time. So, in a way, you're trying to move your customers from taking lunch at 12:30, okay, to take their lunch sometime 2:30. Stretch mo na yung stomach mo, yung gutom mo, kaya mo yan, 2 hours lang. Ang savings mo naman, di ba? Ang laki. Di ba? So, they're trying to play with the minds of customers. So, that's what we meant by demarketing the peak times. You're trying to sway the customers to move to off-peak times para mapuno mo yung, ma-utilize mo yung capacity mo during off-peak periods. Okay? So, in other words, to cut the long story short, service businesses have this distinct characteristic of perishability, but there's a solution. You can do letter A, B, and C. Letter B is just like your production management techniques. Okay, that's letter B. Yung adding part-time to increase your capacity kapag peak. Tapos pag off-peak, ang gagawin mo, mag-work shift ka na lang, or there are some restaurants kapag 2:30 to 6 o'clock, sarado sila. Okay? Walang business, walang operation. So you can do that, no? You can do a lot of things. And letter C, which is the worst option, is you don't do anything. Pag peak, you just allow your customers to wait. Okay? Pahintayin mo sila. Kapag hindi sila maghintay, you lose the business. Okay? Pagka off-peak naman, you don't do anything then. Okay? You just absorb whatever the market gives you. That's the worst option. So go with letter A and B. Okay, let's rush. Letter number 4, intangibility. Services are intangible. So meaning to say, you start with a concept, with an idea of how you want to serve a particular customer. It's interaction based. It has the characteristic of customer participation and simultaneity and perishability. So basically, you're saying that unlike products, you cannot claim originality for a particular service idea. Wala tayong patenting of services dito sa atin. Okay? Walang law na ganon. Products, if you have a unique product that you're selling in the market, you can apply for a patent. So therefore, nobody can secure your marketplace. Nobody can get your target market for that product. Sa'yo lang yun. For services, just look around you. Whatever new service idea or innovation springs up around your environment, the next thing you know, after a few weeks, there's another copycat that will actually mimic your service and even more, give more features to that service. Kaya ang sinasabi lang dito sa intangibility is awareness. You should be aware that the service environment is very competitive. Competitive to the point that even if you are the one who thought of that idea originally, and it is a novel idea, there's nothing in our system, in our laws, that can stop any other business to capture your market, to get your target market for that idea. So therefore, the strategy here, ang advice lang dito is that if you want to secure the benefits of your idea, your service idea, kailangan mabilis ka. So you have to secure territorially a bigger market area. Okay? And the fastest way to secure a bigger market area or reach is to do franchising. And hence, yung knowledge nyo about franchise is explained. Bakit nagpa-franchise yung mga bagong businesses? Okay, yung mga ideas na kakaiba, yung mga bagong product, bagong service. Kasi nga, para hindi sila maunahan ng iba, mas makikilala yung brand name nila in different places, and therefore, kahit mayroong competitors after several weeks or months, nauna na sila doon sa marketplace ng iba-ibang locations. And therefore, mas malaki ang chance that customers will patronize the original source of the idea. Okay, so franchising is one technique to defeat intangibility. Another one is if you look at the customers, they make decisions. For example, sa school na lang, di ba? Sa school, if you are not LaSalle, if you are not UP, not Ateneo, how do you attract students to enroll? Given that intangible yung education eh. Kaya naman pumapasok kayo sa LaSalle, Ateneo, UP, it's because of the reputation that they have created. Nasa world ranking sila, na itong school natin, no, with Ateneo, UP, and sometimes UST, nasa world ranking. In terms of engineering, we're in Asia, we're among the best. So with all of these reputations, kahit na intangible yung education service, you are able to make your decision as a customer kung saan ka pupunta. So keep in mind that whatever service you start in the future, okay, that this service is intangible. So therefore, if you want to have a bigger market reach, you franchise your idea. If you want customers to choose you over your competitors, you need to have a special competitive edge. And usually that edge comes in the form of certifications and accreditations. Kapag intangible ka, hindi naman nakikita, nahahawakan o na titikman yung service na binibigay mo. Okay? Then, kuha ka ng mga certifications that would prove to your customers, even before they try it, that would prove that your quality is the best. And that's why universities like us, we always entertain yung mga accreditors, yung mga accreditations. Kasi kapag na-accredit tayo, lalo na international accreditation, pag na-accredit tayo, pwede nating ipakita yon sa mga estudyante at sa mga parents na papasok as freshmen. Look, like IE for example, we are the only center of excellence in the Philippines as far as the IE program is concerned. Out of all the schools offering IE, we are the only center of excellence. And we just show this in the slide. Makita lang ng parents yon, and if they're after quality, they can associate Center of Excellence to quality na of education, kahit na intangible siya. Okay? So, again, services are intangible, but there are ways to go around it. And lastly, heterogeneity. I mentioned this already in our first example earlier. Okay? People will do the interaction. And therefore, we question the chatbots, the series, okay, that answer questions based on a knowledge base, no, based on a database. Meron ng artificial intelligence. They answer questions. Pero what is lost is the interaction, the human touch that customers are looking for. Okay. Now, since there is that human touch and the interaction, then you know that there is bound to be variability in the way service is provided. Kunyari, kayo, di ba? I give you a customer, 19 kayo dito, bibigyan ko kayo ng same customer. I'm sure that after that customer talks to each one of you, okay, iba-iba yung feedback na bibigay niya sa akin. Kasi iba-iba kayo, kahit na same yung training nyo, same yung material nyo, the way you would respond, the way that you'll handle is still a function of yung upbringing ninyo, yung education ninyo, di ba? Yung behavior ninyo, yung dala-dala ninyong attitude from the previous job, yung puso ninyo. Maraming factors na intangible. Okay? And therefore, your response to the customer when you're interacting would be different. Kaya, ito yung key sa number 5. Personal attention creates variability in the service that is provided. So, knowing that, kaya sinasabi ko na sa inyo, pag may business kayo, yung frontliners nyo, yun yung dapat talagang binubusisi ninyo yung credentials. Okay? Kasi, you do not want this variability to go out of hand to the point of dissatisfaction. So, now, what we want to do is to permit, ito last na to, we want to permit flexibility in dealing with customers. Kasi iba-iba din ang customers, iba-iba din ang behavior. So we do not want to can the response in a box. Ayaw natin gawin canned ang response like the chatbots na walang emotions. Gusto natin bigyan yung frontliners natin ng flexibility to deal with different kinds of customers. Okay? But that flexibility should have a limit. And therefore, dapat consistent ka. Okay? If it's a hard-to-please customer, dapat consistent ka in the way that you deal with this hard-to-please customer. Okay? So now, for us to achieve naman consistency, there has to be a certain set of standards that the employees will be trained in. So it's a balance between establishing standards and permitting a certain level of flexibility. So that's what you need to learn when you have a service business. Dapat kilalanin ninyo, kaya lahat yan mag-uumpisa sa target market. Kikilalanin ninyo yung target market. So next meeting class, having discussed all of this, no, inputs lahat ito, itong 5 na diniscuss ko today, inputs lahat ito when you now study how you're going to respond to your target market and design your service. So next meeting, I would discuss yung mga pointers lang on establishing a service business. Ano yung mga elements na dapat ninyong pag-isipan step by step bago nyo i-document yung process of service delivery ninyo. Okay? Kasi normal tayo, kasi pag nag-iisip tayo, ito yung idea ko, paano ko kaya ito i-deliver sa customer? Nadun ka agad sa last step eh. Pero ang daming steps pa in between that you have to be careful about before you go to the last step. And then, all of those things dapat naka-attach palagi sa target market nyo in light of all of these distinctive characteristics. How can you satisfy your target market knowing that services have 1 to 5 characteristics and knowing that these are the steps that you need to do to establish a service business. Okay, so next meeting, I need you to do this, basahin nyo to. This one. Okay, read this PowerPoint. It is only 13 slides. Okay, strategic service vision. And read the PowerPoint na sinabi ko last meeting, strategy revised. I will discuss that